Hey guys, let's see. I'm trying to get this. Try and get this to work here. Yep, yep. Cool. Let's see. Here we go. So I kind of want to do a recap of Super Game. Um, it was an absolute blast. Basically, I flew out like I think 6:30 Friday. Um, caught ended up catching two flights to Oregon. Landed in Oregon. Um, ended up getting a rental car for the weekend. I was supposed to have like a super tiny compact car. Ended up getting upgraded twice, so that was cool. I ended up with a pretty crappy SUV, but it still was better than some compact car. Um, Went straight to the field where it was already damp. Met up with everybody and um, basically registered and started playing. Didn't really have an opportunity to kind of sit down and talk to everybody. I was trying to get as much playtime in as I could on Friday. Um, but yeah, the field's great. I only saw a portion of the field. I guess a small portion of the field because the field itself was just it was like a swamp. It was intense. The amount of rain and mud and everything that happened. So I only played a portion of the field, but the portion of the field I played was fantastic. It was great, and then every time I came off the field, it was great going back to the Autococker World booth. You know, thanks to Garrett Simmons and Dan from Killshot. You guys are great hosts, and shout out to all the guys that made it in the booth. Um, I think we had, forget how many vendors we actually had, how many people we had. I know it was Dan from Killshot, Garrett. We had Jason Antle, Rich Sconey, Master Sconey. We had Shane Burns. We had who else? Ryan Jameson, myself. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. No. Oh, Mark Davis. Uh, I got to meet all of these guys with the exception of Jason Antle for the first time, which was great. Uh, Mark ended up being my roommate for the weekend, and he was awesome. Mark taught me more than he probably expected to, which was awesome. I appreciated that. So learned a good bit from Mark. Learned some from Garrett as well. I ended up riding to and from the field with Garrett. Um, or not Garrett. Sorry, Dan. Dan from Killshot. Um, he's got some cool stuff in the works. He hasn't told anybody about it yet, but it's pretty cool and it's coming. Um, Trying to think of what else. We had a ton of people that came through the booth, particularly on Saturday. Um, Garrett Garrett was representing for Shock Tech. Um, he had a whole bunch of guns that were set up. They released the. I'm not sure. I guess maybe it's not the Gen 3 or 4, but they released the full bodies for the Shock Tech stuff. So that was pretty cool. That he released that on Friday when we're in the booth. I think he ended up selling all of the full bodies he brought, um, and they were complete guns. But yeah, he sold. I think there was 6 or 7 full bodies, and then he ended up selling a couple minis. So it was great, booth for Shock Tech. I don't think Dan sold that much, but he kind of was showing off some stuff. He had the Maelstrom um, there. He had a couple of right feeds, real custom right feeds. They were pretty cool. Um, I ended up picking up. He hasn't released the Riptide for sale yet, but I ended up picking up a Riptide. He only had four. I think he had four bodies made. One went to Shane Burns. One went to himself. One went to me, and then one went to Ryan Jameson. So mine is actually in the mail currently, and it's raw. So, but he does some pretty cool stuff. He basically modifies a meteor frame um, to to be a little different. He makes his own trigger plates, um, which are insane. I think he makes his own sears too. I'll be sure to make a post though when that comes in. I think that's gonna come in end of next week. Um, but if you guys haven't checked out the Riptide, be sure to check out the Riptide because it's pretty cool. It's based on a JMJ um, swirl milling for the AKA Vikings and Excals. Um, it's I want to say it's Twister like, but it's different. It's not the Twister milling. So those are pretty cool. And then let's see what else was going on. Jason had a bunch of guns there. He had his Angry Cocker, or I guess two angry or one. I think he had two Angry Cockers. He had one that belonged to Charles Bird that he just finished up, set up with. They don't call it the extended reach, but it's set up with the extended reach, so it has that spacer block that ShockTech sells. So that was pretty cool. Um, and he just finished that. I think that the week before Super Game, so that's going to go back to him. He had Jason's personal Angry Cocker, which was the gray to gold or gray. It's like a gray base with a gold splash. It's supposed to look like one of those like Japanese pottery things when the pot cracks or whatever and they fill it with gold. It turned out really cool. Um, so actually, that one ended up selling to Shane Burns. Um, Shane's a pretty cool guy. Met him. I met everybody but Jason at the event. So Ryan Jameson, Shane Burns, Dan Vazani, um, Garrett Simmons. But I've talked to these guys for I say months, but they're probably years. You know, being in the Cocker game, it was really cool to sit down with everybody and kind of discuss Cocker stuff and problems and troubleshoot and all kinds of stuff. A lot of us do that through Messenger and Facebook and text and whatever else, but it's a little different when you're kind of sitting there and you can discuss things quicker without having to text and type and whatever else. So it was pretty cool. Rich Master Scone. Master Scone's a cool dude. Got to talk to him and kind of feel out who he is. And I don't talk to him much, but he's definitely a cool dude, and I enjoyed talking with him. So that was pretty much all the guys in the group. Jason brought a friend Toby. He was pretty cool. I like talking to him. But he really isn't into. He shoots Cocker, but he's not into the tech game. He was just kind of there because I think he wanted to play. And then I think Garrett or Dan had a couple buddies or whatever that came from out of town. They were kind of hanging out in the booth. Oh, BMC, Brandon McCall. He was pretty cool. Talked to him. He kind of hung out in the booth a little bit, but I think Saturday and Sunday he was kind of running around doing his own thing. But it was cool to sit and talk to him for a little bit. Hear some of the things that he's got going on with his machines. So that was cool. Ran into Mozak Machine. He came and hung out in the booth. I forget his name off the top of my head. Um, but yeah, talked to him about some machines and what he's doing, and he just released his I want to say Knox milling for the Cocker body. That was pretty cool. We kind of talked about that and kind of kicked some things, some ideas and stuff around. Um, t- Ideas that I had, on the milling and his design and stuff, which I think he may have already incorporated into the future production stuff. So that was pretty cool. Um, I know he hung out and talked to Jason for a little bit, and then ran into I want to say Justin Ramirez maybe, Estillo paintball. He was talking to Scony and picking some stuff up, and just happened to see him. So that was pretty cool. I kind of follow his stuff. He does some cool stuff, cool milling, and very old school kind of vibe. I know he does some Angel stuff too. Um, so yeah, that was great. All these guys kind of like hanging around the booth and coming through and talking and stuff, and it was great to talk to guys. As they came through and we're checking each gun out and a bunch of stuff. I brought a couple things. I brought my Angry Cocker, which I didn't put out. I just picked one up recently, and it had some marks on the pump arm, and I ended up pulling the pump arm off before Super Game, and just didn't want to put it out without a pump arm for people to actually check out and stuff. I probably could have threw an Inception one on, but I want to throw a Shock Tech one on and keep it all Shock Tech. Um, I did have my Desert Fox, my Shock Tech Desert Fox. Kind of let that hang around and let people feel the trigger. That one feels pretty different. It's not your standard Shock Tech feel. It's much smoother and a longer trigger pull than most people kind of set theirs up, especially from the factory. Um, see what else I bring. I shot my 6.5 pretty much all day, Friday and Saturday, and then picked the Desert Fox up on Sunday because I had like a case and a half I had to shoot. So that was pretty cool. Um, it shot. I mean, they both shot great, and I could have shot some other stuff too. But kind of being everybody shooting cockers, I wanted to shoot something. I had my Inception Twister, the retro length body. Brought that and um, set that up on the table as Garrett was kind of selling guns just to try and fill some space. I also had a couple mags with me. I had um, my X Mag with the Beta Sci-Fi board. I didn't end up showing that or shooting that, but I did bring it to show off. And if anybody wanted to shoot it, they were welcome to. Um, and then I brought my Carta uh, mech, new mech frame, whatever, um, mag to show off on the table, just to kind of break up all the cocker stuff. And it was kind of funny because it actually drew some people into the booth. Um, a couple guys walked by and we're checking some stuff out, and then that kind of drew them into the booth. Um, Jason Jason messed with me a little bit. I had little price tags on my stuff. It said NFS, like not for sale, and then BW on the back. So if anything kind of got mixed up or whatever, I'd be able to find it. And then he put another price tag on it and said $15 on my X Mag. That was kind of funny when I came back to it. Um, but yeah. Um, I think Jason ended up selling one of his Thrillogies. I think he sold the splash one. I really thought the black one was gonna sell. Um, that one looked great. Let's see what else was going on. I ended up I shot the J4 Pat barrel. Um, I shot it all weekend, Friday to Sunday. Um, I think I shot a 677. I think I shot a 677. I think this one. 677 back or barrel. Um, this thing shot great. I really did enjoy shooting this. I didn't have any problems at all. Um, I mean, they were great. You know, it was actually really nice that this barrel is a one piece. There was so much mud. Um, it was everywhere. I mean, literally, I think I was covered head to toe, and the only place that was like clean was basically where my pack was. Um, it was kind of crazy, uh, but it was great shooting this. You know, I shot this on my 6.5, and then I shot this on my Desert Fox. But it was really nice because it was so muddy. I really couldn't get a whole lot of grip, but to be able to unscrew my barrel or whatever, clean my barrel when I went back to the tent and stuff, I didn't have to worry about my tip coming loose from my back and whatever else. This came right off. Ran the squeegee through. The squeegee came out, or the barrel came out clean. Um, yeah, I mean these things are great. I didn't really expect to like them as much as I did. I thought they were really going to be like a basic barrel that was just simple. But yeah, these are pretty cool. If anybody's looking for kind of a budget, I say budget barrel kit, these are pretty cool. I think the range is 677. I want to say to 689. So 7.7, 8.1, 8.5, and 8.9. Um, but yeah, this was great. I really enjoyed shooting this, and I didn't have any problems at all. Um, Honestly, I expected there to be. I think that was a 7.7 was the one I was shooting. Maybe it was this one. Maybe it was 8.1. There's a little dirt in this one. Paint. Um, Honestly, I expected the finish to not be as good as it is. I expected there to be like a bunch of wear marks and stuff. Um, but these are cool. I really like them. J4 and Josh did a great job on those. Um, and I mean, I ran two cases through it. I think I shot half a case between Friday and Saturday with my 6.5 and a case and a half on Sunday. Wish the paint was like a little bit better, but it's kind of nice that everybody was shooting. Everybody was shooting the same paint, so everybody was fighting the same stuff. But that was all good. And then kind of what we did Friday. Showed up Friday, played. Ryan Jameson and I were pretty much the only, or maybe Shane Burns, too. But I think Ryan Jameson and I were pretty much the only ones playing Friday. We finished up Friday, kind of cleaned up, and then we ended up going to pizza place Abby's, which was great. We all kind of sat around and ate pizza and drank beer. Kind of met. I got to meet everybody and kind of talk to everybody. Everybody else is, pretty much all on the West Coast or has met before at previous Super Games. So that was cool. Got to chat with Rich Sconey a good bit at dinner, and then went back to the hotel. And I was rooming with Mark Davis. Mark Davis and I had a grand old time. Um, just kind of just chatting about new stuff, old stuff, how we set up Cockers and how we do things a little bit different. Mark was kind of shedding some knowledge, which was really appreciated, and he was kind of telling me about the old days, BBT, um, and kind of the things he grew up doing and stuff. It was pretty cool. Saturday, woke up, went straight to the field. It rained really heavy between Friday. I think it was Friday night and Saturday. Pretty much started as soon as we left the field. or were leaving the field, and then it just poured buckets and buckets and buckets. So by the time we made it back to the field on Saturday, um, it was, the ground was pretty soft. Um, but I was geared up, ready to roll, and just kind of played through it. I think I think Mark didn't play on Saturday, and then if Jason played, he only played a little bit. Um, but I think me, Ryan, and Shane were getting after it. Um, Shane's a cool guy. Really enjoyed meeting him and kind of talking and um, getting to play like next to guys that work on the same kind of stuff, deal with the same problems, both customer related and Cocker related. So that was pretty cool. Walking out and getting to just talk and have conversations, you know, with people and not feel like you're bugging them or whatever. Um, so that was awesome. So played Saturday. It was absolutely disgusting. Ended up throwing all my stuff in a trash bag and trying to hang it up in the hotel, let it dry out before Sunday. Sunday, same kind of thing. It was soaked. So we just kind of fought through it the best we could, and all the all the mud around the DMZ or whatever was pretty disgusting. You were lucky to be standing. Guys were wearing cleats and stuff, and it was intense. I did slide in. I think it was I did slide in Sunday. And into the DMZ and was snapping with some guys and stuff, and ran into Sonny Lopez. Um, Sonny's a cool guy, and I've met him before. I met him at Super Game, Maryland. Um, I know um, he's a solid player. So it was cool. It was cool running into him. Um, I think he was shooting M170, one of the like the Predator ones. Um, but it was cool running into him and um, getting to play with some of the guys from the West Coast that play kind of similar to how we play on the East Coast. Um, a lot of guys shooting pump, a lot of guys shooting cockers. There's a bunch of carnies out there. There's a bunch of just built pump guns. A lot of the LA Hitman guys. Um, some of the CK guys. It was cool running into like all those guys that were playing like the same style that I was playing. Um, so that was cool, and yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then there were some other guys I ran into. I know Brian. Um, I know Brian's gonna see this. Brian was shooting an X Mag with. Pretty sure it was Brian. Was shooting an X Mag with the sci-fi beta board. One of the new ones that were released with the new iBoard. I know he was having some trouble getting that installed. Got it installed. Was looked like he was having an absolute blast playing the Super Game with it. And then I think his battery ended up dying. And I wish he would have came and found me because I had two charged batteries on me and I had a charger that I could have plugged his battery in the booth. But all good. I'm sure he just switched to Demec and then just kept playing. Um, but yeah, that was cool. And then I did see a guy at the air station who had um, not the bonsai. It's the like the British racing green with the gold splash. Um, uh, I think it was a mini mag, and he was airing up. So it was pretty cool to run into like somebody who's still shooting a twist lock barrel. Out on the field, and I saw him multiple times at the air station, so that was pretty cool. Um, I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I got to meet Benji and his brother from Paintball DNA. They were cool guys. They had a booth and they had a bunch of stuff in there. Um, Ben was trying to sell some stuff, and then they had like all their 3D printed stuff, which is pretty cool. Um, Tim Furpo, with the Planet Eclipse booth. Um, got to talk to Tim and meet Craig Palmer and Russell Miller. Um, those guys are awesome. We were kind of joking back and forth with Craig and Russell all weekend, so that was awesome. And then Tim was stuck in the booth for the most part, working on Planet Eclipse stuff. But it's always good to see him. Um, hopefully he can hopefully he can get out and play some. I know he's always stuck in the booth, probably making money, but sometimes it's good to get out and play. Um, who else? Oh, Chris. I'm gonna butcher his last name. Fajnot. Um, Chris was in the booth, in the Cocker booth with us too. He wouldn't show anything off, but he did. He was out playing. And Chris can play. He was playing his butt off. I think he probably played more than I did, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But he was out shooting. He was out shooting twisters with the reflex. His reflex kits, which I'm sure he has a different name for it. But yeah, he was out shooting those things. I think said he ended up shooting like 6 cases. The only other person that I thought probably shot that much was probably Shane Burns. But Shane Burns wasn't shooting a reflex frame, so it was pretty funny. He was just shooting a normal slider, which was funny. I was able to walk out on the field and tell where either Chris was or Shane by whose gun was shooting, and the how fast the trigger was actually shooting it, which was pretty funny. Um, Other than that, couldn't really hear like anybody. Jason. So Jason did have the his new cocker, the Peckerwood. He had that finished up and was showing that off. He ended up playing with that on Sunday, and he was running some paint through that thing too. Um, I think he was enjoying that, so that was pretty cool. And then he ended up shooting me in the back of the head too, which was probably more my fault than his fault. But it was a weird series of events. But I was playing in a Connex box, and I either ran out of paint or something, and I was leaving. I was like going off the field, but I didn't go out through the end I was on because that's where all the shooting was. And so I turn around and I'm like walking back through the Connex box, and Jason's shooting through 2 windows of the Connex box, and I just happened to take one step right into his lane that I didn't see. And sure enough, I'm pretty sure he double tapped me in the back of the head. And thankfully, I have a I-5 strap on the back of my flexes, and he actually shot the adjustment wheel. Um, but yeah, that one definitely surprised me, but it was all good. So, but Jason seemed like he had a good time. I think he enjoyed the booth more than he did playing, but I think I enjoyed playing more than I enjoyed the booth. Um, I think Shane did too. I think Shane did enjoyed playing more than he did the booth, but everybody had a great time. Hopefully next year. Well, I plan to go back next year. Hopefully it's dry. Knock on wood. But I was gonna say hopefully we can get more Cocker guys in the group, or in the booth. I know we were missing, some people, and I don't want to invite anybody, since I'm the new guy. But hopefully we can kind of max the booth out. Um, I know there's still room next to us probably. I think there was a popcorn booth where people were selling popcorn, and I think there was something else like there was. Maybe we were next to the glass booth where they were doing like laser etching, and then next to that was the popcorn booth. but I'm sure they can find another place for them to go. If we need more Cocker stuff, that'd be cool. Trying to think of who else was there. I know Super Staunchy was there. Didn't really get a chance to talk to him. And then there was I want to say the Extreme Sports or something like that. It was basically the people that bought out CCI Phantom stuff. They were there. They had a booth set up. That was pretty cool. And then GI had a booth, or Empire, or whatever it is now. They had a booth where they were kind of sending all the guys. We had, I don't even know how many guys come by and ask if we're working on guns. And then they pull out like a Tippin 98 and they're like, "You guys work on this?" And we're like, "No." Like, it was almost like everybody in the booth said it at the same time. It's kind of funny. And then we had some guy walk up and was like, "How is this better than my Mini GS?" Which was pretty funny. And he's pointing to Jason's Peckerwood, which was pretty funny. And then we tried to explain it to him, and then he just got lost and was like, "Oh, okay." And we're like, "Just go shoot your Mini GS, kid. You'll understand one day." So that was kind of funny. But yeah, all in all, it was good. It was a good weekend. I had an absolute blast. Probably do travel a little different. Flew out first thing Friday morning, and then landed there about 11, and then drove. I think it was like 35, 45 minutes, something like that, to the field. Which was okay, but I'd like to probably be at the field earlier on Friday and not as rushed and stuff. And then Monday I flew out. I flew out at 5:30 a.m. West Coast time. Um, and then I didn't land in Charleston. Basically, get home until almost 6 o'clock p.m. So that was a little rough to roll right into work day on Tuesday, but um, all good. All my gear made it back. Thankfully, all my stuff was soaked. I ended up having trash bags and put everything in trash bags. And then of course on the way out there, my bag was lighter than the weight the weight max or whatever where you have to pay. And then on the way back, it was definitely heavy. So I'm standing there at the scale, the airport scale at 4 o'clock in the morning, trying to unload whatever is dry and clean, shoved in my carry-on bag. But it worked out. So yeah, that's kind of I guess a recap of Super Game. I don't think there was anything, there's nothing crazy, that happened. I guess Toby ended up getting sick from dinner. We went to like Red Robin or something. That was the first time I've been to Red Robin, but he ended up getting sick. I thought we probably might get sick from the street taco lady, but everybody seemed to stand by their decision that they wanted street tacos. They had it before, so everybody was good there. But Toby got sick from Red Robin, so hopefully he got better soon before he had to fly out. I know he had a long time to get home too. But yeah, so that's kind of Super Game, 22. Hopefully next year I can make Oregon and Indiana. That was a blast to do Oregon. Wanted to do Indiana, but got something else scheduled and can't make it this year. So hopefully next year. So yeah, that's it. Don't have anything else. So let's see if we can turn this off. Maybe. I don't know. There we go. Later, dudes.